So here we're going over a shared work problem. And this type of question, we're going to be going over, well, this is basically a rate problem. And we've got rate times time is going to be equal to the amount of work. Pardon me. I need to decap my screen. Yeah. So when we're doing this, it might seem strange, but in this case, our work is filling a tub. So in this case, I've got one tub. I don't know what, and I've got like hot water and I've got cold water. Yeah, one tub. So when we're doing this, I do know a couple things about the time. I know that it takes my hot water 13 minutes to fill it, and it takes the cold water 12. So when I do that, now I need to figure out a little something about the rates. I've got, and of course, if rate times time is equal to work, if I need to figure out the rate, I'll just divide both sides by time. So I've got my rate is equal to that work divided by time. So here, my rate is going to be my work, 1 divided by 13, 1/13. So every minute it fills 1/13 of the tub. Here, the cold water is going to do 1/12 of the tub. So now, when we figure out how long is it going to take, I'm just going to say, well, if I put both of these things on, so this 1/13 plus 1/12, and so this is going to be my rate, times a time, I need to figure out how long it's going to take for this to fill up one full tub. So this is basically this type of question. Now, we've got a couple variations on this, but let's go ahead and figure this out. And first thing that we're going to need to do is, well, let's go ahead and just add these two fractions. This one's fairly straightforward. So it looks like my common denominator is going to be 13 times 12. That's going to be, let's see here. Actually, let's think about that. It's going to be 1/13. I'm going to multiply that by, say, 12 over 12. This one I've got my 1/12. I'll multiply this one by 13 over 13. And so times our t is equal to 1. So I'm going to have 12. And that, I believe, is going to be over 156 plus 13 over 156 is equal to our t, or times t is equal to 1. I can't believe I just did that. Add these together. I've got 25 over 156. T is equal to 1. And when I solve this, I'm just going to multiply both sides by the reciprocal. So I've got my 25 over 156. T is equal to 1. And I multiply both sides of this by the reciprocal, which is 156 over 25. So I'll have t is equal to 156 over 25. I see that this would be, let's see here, 25 could go into 156. Let's see here. 25 would go into 156. Looks like 6 times, and I'll have 6 left over. 6 25ths. So there is my time. So this is going to be 6 and 6 25th seconds, or sorry, 6 minutes, since this was all in minutes. And we could figure out what that is. We could probably figure out what this in minutes and seconds is, but there we have that. It's okay to leave things as fractions, at least for the moment. There's other ways that we can do to figure out what this would be in seconds if we wanted to, but I'm going to take a look for another example here for just a second. All right, let's go over another example here. It takes an older pump twice as long to drain a pool as it does a newer pump. Working together, it takes the two pumps 3 hours to drain the pool. How long does it take the newer pump to drain? Oops. How long does it take the newer pump to drain the pool working alone? So again, we've got rate times time is equal to work. And if I take a look at I've got my old pump and I've got my new pump. I'm just draining one, but I know that the older pump takes twice as long as the new one. So let's say if my new pump can do this in, say, n number of hours, the old pump would be twice as long. So whatever rate this is going to be, my rate is, once again, it's this work divided by the time. So this is going to be 1 over n, and here, this is going to be 1 over 2n. Well, if these things are working together, so it takes, it's going to take 3 hours. So here's my rate, 1 over 2n plus 1 over n. And so if there's my combined rates, then times the time is equal to the work. So this is what it means when it says it takes both of them working together takes 3 hours, because this is our combined rates, and there's the time. Well, let's go ahead and solve this. This time I'm going to go ahead and I'll just distribute this 3. So I'll have 3 over 2n plus our 3 over n is equal to 1. But now, when I solve this, I'm going to multiply both sides by our LCD, our common denominator. So it looks like I've got a factor of n, and I've got a factor of 2. I'm going to multiply both sides by 2n. And when I do this, it gets distributed to all of these terms. So now I'll have 3. N's are going to cancel, so I'll have 3 times 2, that's going to be plus 6, is equal to my 2n. That's a lot easier, isn't it? This is going to be 9 is equal to my 2n. I'll divide both sides by 2. And I've got my answer of, it takes the new pump 9/2, that's 4.5. So the new pump takes 4.5 hours to drain the pool. And that's what we've got.